You may be seated, please. All our friends who have come and visitors who have come from outside Nyanza, good morning. Hamjambo. Happy New Year. Thank you very much. I'm so delighted to have opportunity to talk to you people in the new year. Bringing to you greetings from outside Kenya, from some of our friends of Kenya whom I've been meeting these last few days. Now we also welcome here to LV Marina. But now we're LV Marina, but this ground where we are here is also known as Kisumu Molasses Plant. So I think it is perfect in order to explain to you people, because I know that the media is going to be making a lot of speculations about how and why we are doing this. This plant, which is next door here, was put up here at the time of the oil crisis of 1972-73. The government came up with the idea of setting up a plant to manufacture ethanol from sugar production, and that this ethanol will be blended with the fuel, a ratio of about 25%, to reduce the cost of imports of oil, which was being done at that time, because the price of crude had gone up so high. Then the construction then started. The government went into partnership with some other companies. But while that was going on, because then OPEC had been established, and OPEC kept on increasing the prices of crude. But then, all of a sudden, the oil prices began to go down. The crude price began to go down. And the oil companies here were not very much in favor of blending, because they would prefer to import the crude from outside, because they do make their money actually in the high seas before the product land here. So they themselves also sabotage the construction of this plant. So later on, the government decided to auction that plant. That plant was auctioned, and we bought it in an auction. We were the highest bidder at the fall of the hammer. When we bought it, there was issue of land. They said that we were only selling the assets, not the land. Then we said, of what use are those equipment? What use are those buildings on the ground to somebody if you're not selling it with the land? Then they said you should negotiate the land separately with the government. And therefore they decided not to transfer to us. We had paid a deposit. So we went to court. After a lengthy process, eventually the court ruled against us, and we kept quiet. Then later on, they did not now find any buyer. They asked for the second lowest. Second lowest was not interested. The third lowest was not interested. So the matter ended there. Later on now, the government decided to invite people again to express interest. We expressed interest. Again, we were the lowest. So we said now, you do this. This time they agreed to also transfer with the land. So we paid for the land separately and for the plant also. That's how we took over. Then we went into partnership with the South African company, and eventually we managed to complete the construction of the plant and launched it and started manufacturing ethanol from molasses. This plant was put up here in Kisumu because of the reason of the proximity to the sugar plants, manufacturing companies in the region. Moroni, Shemelil, Miwani, Mumias, and Zoya. But then, unfortunately, in the process of of this confusion, when the plant was not being operated, Muhoroni came up also with another ethanol plant. This is called agrochemicals. So now Muhoroni was now not available as a supply of raw material to this plant. Then Mumias, which was the biggest source of supply, also decided to put up their own ethanol plant in Mumias. So we now found ourselves short of raw materials for this plant here. We looked around. Of course, we are getting from Sony, from Chemelil, Miwani had gone dead, from Zoya, but all that was inadequate. And on the other side, there was Butali that was established, and also West Kenya in the west, in the other side. So we now had a problem of raw materials. Sometimes we used to bring molasses from Kagera in Tanzania. That was too far, logistically very difficult. Then we were also bringing molasses from Uganda, from Kakira. That became our only source. We were importing from Kakira. Then Kakira also set up their own ethanol plant. So therefore, we ran out of raw materials. So this plant here was closed because of lack of raw materials to produce ethanol. And then now we decided to think out of the box. So we started to think out of the box, and that's how we came up with this idea of this project. But we also said that plant is there. As you know, the town has now expanded this side. So a manufacturing plant, a chemical manufacturing plant within the town here is no longer quite tenable. So this decision has been made that we relocate that plant. And in the process of the government now reorganizing the sugar industry, we will transfer that plant to one of the sugar mills, either Chemelil or Zoya, so that that plant